Meeting somebody who's that important in your life is usually a really big deal, and this was no different. She was probably the prettiest girl I've ever seen. I couldn't believe it when I first met her.
So I started thinking about what I truly believe in. Being raised in a single-parent home with my father passing away early in my life, I assume being nurtured is the single most important part of raising a child. Drake, a sophomore in engineering, proved me wrong. Nature versus nurture? It's both. It's about love.
Nature versus nurture is kind of a one side or the other thing, but I like to think that's a little bit of a combination of the two. I think it's important how you raise children and also what kind of environment they're born into. I think it's important that you have an environment for your child to be stimulated in, but at the same time, it's a lot of love too. You just have to be loving and always be there and spend the time. Even those things that suck, like changing poopy diapers and stuff like that, that's all part of the process, and it always, comes out in the end. Being a young parent is definitely different from being somebody who has a steady job and has graduated. Being in college and being away from my daughter for a long time is definitely hard, but in the long run it's definitely worth it too, because it's the best experience of my life, and it's something that a lot of people don't get to experience, being a young parent. Being at college and being away from Peyton versus just being away from her like a couple days at a time is definitely hard, because when I'm in school, I'm away from her for 2 weeks at a time, and it definitely sucks because you miss out on stuff, but you just kind of have to keep it in perspective. It's short term, and eventually I get to see her more and more, and once I kind of turn a new leaf in my chapter, and I'll get to see her more and spend more time with her, so I know it's a good thing in the long run.
Being a father to a baby girl is a challenge in itself. Being a father, determined to finish college to provide for his child, is a completely different story. Drake has high hopes for his pocket full of sunshine, and he doesn't let being newly 20 affect those dreams.
There's one thing I could give her. Well, for me, there's a little bit different. For her, she just wants a cup. That's all she wants, or a box. She loves it. For me, I'd give her a leash, because I cannot keep up with her. She's climbing upstairs, downstairs, and she's going to hurt herself eventually, because I'm starting to get a little old. I don't know, that's a tough question. I think I would try to push her in something more technical related. Definitely want her to do well in school, but I want her to be her own person and kind of choose what she wants to do. And at this point, it's kind of too early to tell what she enjoys and all that, but whatever she wants to do, I'll always support her. My parents get to see her a little bit more than I do, at least during the school year, and I think that's important that at least she's with family and people that she knows and recognizes already, versus being just babysat by different people all the time. I think it's important that she gets that family interaction, especially with her grandparents. We all have different relationships with other grandparents, but it's definitely a good thing to have a close one. When I come home and she's already at my house, it's the funniest thing. She'll turn her head and see me when she's playing, and she's usually downstairs. She'll turn and she'll kind of do this little laugh and snort thing that she does, and she'll crawl really, really quickly up to me, and it's usually pretty fun. Just waking up and seeing her there, and just that look in her eyes that, even when she gets upset or cries or anything like that, when I pick her up, she looks at me and she smiles, and she knows that I'm her dad, and that, there's nothing I wouldn't do for her. That's the best part, I think.